Hello folks, I'm Colonel Failure and this is A Train 9 version 4. We're leaving the end of the line, as it is at the moment, heading towards the district that we've been working on for the last couple of episodes, which is our big kind of heavy-duty manufacturing district. And as you can see, there's a lot here. That I will, after I finish riding on the train, we'll come back and have a good look at it. It's not profitable, not yet, and I don't know whether that's as a result of the incorrect type of trains coming through or incorrect connections. However, I have completed the build in that area, and I've removed all of the warehousing that I was using, the kind of the supply depots, and it is now its own master. So its fortune is whatever it will be. So the next objective really is to help start to funnel passengers in and out of that area in order to, well, potentially make it a little bit more viable. But the next step will be to expand into one of the surrounding areas, and that's what we're going to do today. I've got a fairly hectic tax bill on the go. Can I continue riding on this train while I bring that up? Here we go. So, yeah, we've got $357 million tax bill, which, well, I can afford it, but I'm going to have to be somewhat careful with my spending until that point, just purely to ensure that I don't end up bankrupting myself just as I started to formulate a plan as to what this city is going to be. And I'm relatively confident that won't be a problem, but fingers crossed, all of that. So if we look at our profits now, railroad, as you can see, 128,000 profit from the railroad. Yeah, it's not setting the world alight, is it? But equally, you know, it's not to be sniffed at. And remember, this is off 2 trains alone. So these 2 passenger services are making me 128,000 at the moment. And where are we? 2 days into January. So that's pretty respectable. Obviously, adding more trains will add more profit. But as was pointed out to me earlier on in this series, the goal should never be to make profits with your trains alone. It's about making profit across the whole of your empire. And that was the point at which I came up with this plan of doing something a little bit more organised, because I don't know about you, but this is not the finest looking bit of city ever, or in fact anywhere. So right, let's go over and have a look at our manufacturing zone, and here it is. It's properly filled out now. We've got some of every manufacturing plant imaginable, duplicates of many of them, and not one is making a profit. So there is something I'm missing somewhere along the lines. They're around a third short. Yeah, pretty much across the board, around a third short of profitability. And it could just be that it takes time for those to build up their revenue generating, and certainly these are expensive buildings, so hopefully after they've been in operation for a while they should start ticking along the cash. Well, that's what we're going to hope anyway. So let's up the tempo. So all my trucks are currently out of service. Well, all of my newer trucks are out of service, which means that this factory area is going to build up a backlog fairly quickly. So I really want to start thinking about where I'm going next. Now, we've really got, we've got plenty of options, but the biggies are all connected to this manufacturing area. This I'm going to make as my kind of my hub for the moment in terms of growth, I suppose. Development. Yeah, my development home for the time being, because we have routes going off in, well, every direction really. I'm not completely certain about this swooping bit of track here, but I think it looks all right. So we've got some more geo to take care of in order to get this working nicely. But the question is, where am I going to? Because I want a residential area, or perhaps let's zoom out and think about this a little before I go ploughing in headlong, as is so often the case. Right, what have we got here? this might make for a... I mean, I'd have to flatten it out, but it might make for a nice commercial area. Or maybe a multi-height commercial area. So one of the things I've been considering, if we bring up Geo here, and I like Geo largely because after I finish tinkering, I can just leave it at whatever it wanted to be. No, am I holding the wrong button here? It would help if it was daytime. Let's forward it to daytime. Yeah, I want to undo. I don't want to tinker with that just yet. Let's get some daylight on this beast. Hey! Whew, stone me. That's what you get for staring directly at the sun, I suppose. Let's get towards midday. That will do nicely. Right, okay, so, yeah. One of the things I've been considering. So we're gonna square this one off because, you know, that's what I'm going to do everywhere now. And then once I've done that, I want to flatten it out to kind of maximize the building area. Of course, actually, thinking about it, this isn't necessarily the best one to be using right now, given its total absence of rail connections. Now, I can see a scenario whereby we connect by rail up to wherever that goes, and likewise to wherever this goes. But there is no direct connection between these two. I'd have to do something with a bus service, maybe? I could do something with a bus service, maybe. Alright, let's do something with a bus service, maybe. Right, let's try and get this. I just want to experimentally get this to flatten out. No, you see, that's taken it all the way down to sea level. Oh, maybe... yeah, you see. That's what you haven't done. There we go. Right, so this is the idea, is flatten down to kind of plateau in nature, and then have a kind of a multi-level district. And it will either look brilliant or it will look terrible. It's not gonna sit in between those two. It will be one or the other. What do we think? Yeah, see, I mean, I think that could look quite good. Right, okay, let's cancel that. Yes, cancel it. Right, okay, so let's think this through. Let's start by flattening things down about here. So we'll just take the lumps out of the edges. Right, a bit of de-lumping. Keeping half an eye on the costs, of course, because we don't want these to get out of control. And then we'll accept that first one. Okay, important safety tip there. Do not press the Windows key when you're messing around in A-Train and you're recording at the same time. It crashes to desktop. Anyway, I've caught myself back up again. And what we've got here is I've basically smoothed this island out. I think I've got all of it. And now it's a case of laying down the roads I want to use to... how about that? Right about there. That'll do. Yeah, the laying down the roads that I want to use as the kind of the template for this new island. And as much as it's pretty easy just to make the whole thing a square, that's not really what I've got in mind, or even a rectangle. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. I meant a rectangle. I didn't mean a square. Yeah, no, not doing that one just yet. Let's do a little bit at a time and see where we get to. Now you see, look, I want you to go diagonally. Or maybe if I go, yes, no, that's what we did before. So if I were to remove these back a touch and then lay some track down, it should want to go diagonally. There we go. Let's go as far as here. No, that's no good. About there. That's perfect. Right. No. If it's perfect, fix it. There we go. Right, so the idea is that I'm going to pull a bridge across here that will then extend onto the top of the plinth. I don't know if the plinth is a good idea or not. There's a really easy way to find out, and that's what we'll do in a minute. But first off, let's geo this. I just want to get the diagonal done, and to be honest, that radius is a little bit overkill. There we go. Right. hacker down. Let's go. No, no, that's not properly diagonal. If it was properly diagonal, I wouldn't be getting this jagged rubbish. No, cancel. Yes. The one piece of undo in the game, and it's an absolute lifesaver, given that geoscaping is so expensive. Right, let's try that again. You see, it wants to do that one. It also wants to do this one, but that doesn't feel... Let's get some zoom on here and see how we're laying up against the grid. Again, precision engineering would be nice here. Being able to turn, actually, that might be right, but it does look like it's following exactly the same angle as before. All right, well, just in the spirit of experimentation, let's see what we get from this one. No, jagged. Oh, no, that's not what we want. So, hold on, let's mirror, because I've done this already. That's a working one. Something like that. Okay, all right. Let's try that out. Because once I have done this enough times that I've become familiar with it, this should all be fairly straightforward. So, no, there's an option somewhere. I recall it distinctly. An option to turn the grid on. Where are display grid lines? There we go. So, no, I had it right. That was the first one was about spot on. Let's have a look. Yeah, that should be as close to the grid as it needs it. Let's give it one more try. It's just not attractive, is it? Hey, look at that. That's not appealing. Now, how have I done it over here then? If we've got since we've got the grid on, there doesn't appear to be any difference. So what am I doing wrong? Interesting. Got the angle right. Does it want to do any more? No, it doesn't. No, that's all just horrible. All right, okay, well, let's try something a little bit more... I don't know. They're going to have to try something, because if I can't get this to lay out nicely alongside the grid with... and I'll turn the grid off once I've figured out exactly what's going on. So we've got that, which didn't work. That is obviously perfectly aligned. That one is not. This one should be. That's the diagonal bisector. We've got this. Well, there's only one way to find out. This is the experimentation episode, folks. I hope you're enjoying it. No, that's... the word I'm looking for here is worse. Oh, hold on. Maybe if I go rounded. I don't think that'll fix it, but it's, you know, at this point, I'm willing to try just about anything. Alright, bang it across there. Yep. And then geo me some. And then we'll switch to rounded rather than straight. No change. How bizarre. Because I don't want this sawtooth effect going on here. Maybe it's a case of maybe it won't do it until it's connected up to a bit of regular straight road as well. Alright, well, you know, I'll figure it out. We'll get there. And I figure you might as well come with me. You know, this may or may not be the most riveting thing you've ever seen. But hey, we're going to learn it together. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is time well spent. Alright, okay, so it's off the curve there. Taking it around the corner. There'll be some jaggedness, but I'm comfortable with that. Let's go to here for the straight. And then we'll just drag that forward a touch to establish the mood. Remove this nice long bit here. Okay, right. Cross your fingers, hold your hands. Let's see what we get out of this one. No, that's wretched. And yet, of course, here it's absolutely perfect. Maybe right. Okay, all right. One more thing to try. It's okay. I don't have to lay any track road to try this one. Let's make this a bit smaller. All right, here we go. We're going along here. Straight edges. Got a lovely straight edge going along here. I wonder if there's something else to try, but I'll try that in a moment. And then, if we follow this round, it doesn't want to do it. It has no interest. Maybe if I try... Wow, what if I take it lower? Okay, well, that's shaving the... Well, it's sharpening the edge, rather, isn't it? Let's take it down as low as it will go. No improvement there. Well, that's annoying and perplexing at the same time. What am I doing wrong? What is not working right? Okay, okay, here's another thing to try. Right, it's only a failure if we run out of ideas. As long as there are still ideas, we can continue tinkering with this. Let's take you out like that. Yeah. Just like that. That's the angle of champions. Something akin to yeah, just like that. Right, bang you in there. So now the thinking being, we are now perfectly mirroring this one down here, right? So unless there is something really obvious or not, or even not obvious that I'm missing, this should just work. And there it is. Ha! Okay, so maybe there's only... Well, no. The obvious thing should now be that if I then come off that at a right angle, we should be in business, right? Now that only cost me 5 million quid because that was actually quite a gentle bit of adjustment. If you're sat there and going, this is really obvious, why? How is it taking you so long to figure this out? This is incredibly obvious. Then do let me know what I'm doing wrong, won't you? Okay, so now we're going to try and mirror this one, I guess, coming off this corner. Right, like that. Now this is, of course, in the wrong place, but, you know, in the spirit of try it and see if it works. And this whole experimentation period here will cost me... There you go, can't do it. Doesn't want to do it. Look at that. It's not even remotely interesting. In fact, it's done something quite bizarre. Why has it done that? Let's go round it. That's up the sphere of influence. Yeah, okay, you can't do the other angle. Well, this is going to make for a very weird looking city. That said, you know, it was going to look pretty weird to start with, but... Okay, right, fine. At least now we know. Yeah, get rid of that. Alright, there's only one right angle that we can use, or one angle that we can use that keeps the thing looking right. So let's get rid of the grid, because I don't know about you, but it's not the most appealing thing to look at. Right, let's get this road on the show, and then we can crack on. So we are going to have a right angle at the other end. That's okay. I was hoping to do a bit of this, but it is not to be. Right. So those two want to meet up here somewhere. So I'm going to lay in a bit more ground for them to work on. Up to flat. Up to flat, please. There you go. Can't get corners. Marvellous. This is all terribly wasteful given that I'm going to demolish it again in a moment, but it has to be done. So we are going to end up with several kind of rhomboid corners, I suppose. And as long as I use that sparingly, it should still look like it's you know, it's not being built by some obsessive that can't turn right. Lay track. Road. Lay road, not track. Right. Hook it up to that. No, I don't want a corner. You know, if I can... I don't want a curve. There you go. And we'll make this a nice lengthy one here. In fact, we'll make this a super lengthy one. Right, fix that. And then if we take the angle here, that I believe is in the safe zone. Do you want to play ball there, friend? No? Remove a little. And a bit of that. This one's going to have to be a corner, which is going to lead to a certain amount of jagged cornerness. But there's not much you can do about it. It's interesting. It's a quandary. That's what it is. Yeah, that is parallel. Okay, cool. Or maybe that's what I'm drawing. Not a rhombus, a parallelogram. There you go. Oh, check that out for innovative or something. Okay, let's then run an angle here, and there we go. That's my perimeter. All right, what do you think of that? Now, I don't want to be just making these wacky shapes for the sake of it. That's not going to work. Look, these two here. And in fact, you get the indicator straight away. I should have spotted this before. If the ground is doing the jaggy thing, if the grass, look at it. It is basically giving you you might want to think that through. Because it's not going to cooperate. Those are definitely jagged curves going on there. Alright, no, it's okay. It's alright, we'll cope. It's a shame, but I guess that's just how it is. Right, so let's... what should we do? We'll remove back a little bit of that, and then we'll take this out at that angle there. Yep, we'll take that bit. Right, and then we'll... no, I'm going to have to build some more land. But still, you know, if it's worth doing, it is worth, you know, putting some effort into and getting it looking respectable when you're done. Did I mention I had a 370 million buck tax bill? Yeah. I hadn't anticipated spending this amount of money on building land that I'm only going to withdraw. I was torn between the two there. Come on, all the way up, all the way up. I've got an image in mind here. Right, and I think what I might try and do. So at some point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fashion this in to make a docks, and I think I'll do it in as convoluted a way as possible. Oh, well, when have I ever done anything that wasn't convoluted? But in as complex a fashion as I can. Now, how am I going to do this? If we can't go up diagonally, are we just going to wiggle up like that? Or are we going to suck it up and take some jagged angles here? Because the alternative is we go up here along these lines and then connect onto there. That's acceptable. All right. Right, okay, right. Bring that along here, do that, here, fix. Remove this one. There we go. All right, my lofty aspirations this episode for making, you know, monstrous amounts of progress in no time flat. Well, that's kind of fallen by the wayside, hasn't it? There we go. Right, up here. I'm going to fill in a load of this. And then we'll be in business, theoretically. There we go. Yes? Happy? Right. That's another 120 million we spent there. That's a lot of money. Right, up to the top of that. Particularly painful, given that we're just going to delete it all again. Come on, finicky road. No, I don't want to. I want a right angle. like that. That's it. That's exactly right. Okay, that's our shape. No, we're not there. We're almost there. I will accept a curve here. I suppose I have no choice in that. It's got to be a curve. That's the shape. What do we think of it? I think that looks reasonable. And then we'll flatten out a central section. I don't know if it's going to look great or not. Maybe a bit of... maybe I'll leave it alone. That's something to ponder for another time, I think. Let's just finish this bit off while we're here. Alright, this should be fast. Should be fast. Alright, yeah, just cutting away. Lovely. Alright, round the corner. Here we go. Now, I don't want to get too carried away, otherwise I'll end up infilling again. Yes, this jagged corner thing is it's interesting. I mean, I get it on a, you know, on a matching the grid kind of an aspect, but I don't get it on a why would it do one way quite happily and then not the other way. Still, I guess there's a reason behind it. I'm just not privy to that reason. Cool. Right, and this is going to be worth it, right? It's going to look great. It's going to be phenomenal. People are going to come from miles around and go, dude, that is some good-looking town you've got there. How much have I cut away there that I didn't mean to? Enough to be annoying. Come on, fill it in. Fill it in. Don't make me relay the road. All right, I'll relay the road and make that look tidy while you are elsewhere. We're mostly tidy. In fact, let's just finish this. That's another 75 million down the pan. Let's get this road in. You will connect first time. And in fact, just for bonus points, we'll take one out here as well. There we go. All right, that's kind of splendid. Now, I mean, this has made it a no-sail zone, but that's okay. I need to think about bridges for shipping later on. But there you go. So that's the... we made a start. I guess we're kind of building a canal-esque inland waterway kind of an idea. I've probably missed in a couple of these places, haven't I? Yeah, you see, there's one, there's another one. It's the corners. The corners have let me down. Anyway, thanks very much for watching today. Hopefully, this exploration of how to straighten your corners in a watery situation has been of benefit. It might have taken me 10 minutes to figure out that there was a very obvious telltale when it wasn't going to work. But hey, I made it. Anyway, chuck us a like if you enjoyed this one, and subscribe if you want to see more just like it. Well, hopefully less like this one and more like last episode where we built something amazing. I'll be back very soon with more of the same. Thanks for watching. Cheerio!
Listen.